Oh, that's recording. Hi everyone, welcome back to another video on my channel. It is Saturday the 28th of October, so it officially means it is Halloween weekend, which is something that I have been waiting all year for. Super excited, but that's not what this video is about. Just wanted to explain that because it's why I look a bit shit, to be honest. I'm not gonna just like ignore it. I look awful, and it's because tonight I am going out and I want to have a fresh face of makeup. I put my tan on last night and I don't want to wear makeup today because I'll have to take it off and then my face won't be like ready for the Halloween makeup. Yeah, you get the gist. Something that I really want to talk about, and I have wanted to talk about for a while, but it wasn't the right timing, which will make sense in a minute. Seasonal affective disorder. If you've never heard of it, you're probably like, what on earth is that? Basically, in a nutshell, it is when your mood changes an awful lot when the season changes. And the reason why this is so fitting to me today is because the clocks in the UK tonight go backwards, so that means in the evenings it will be darker a lot earlier than usual than in the summer, and it's going to get colder and colder and colder. And this is something that affects me every year, and it did take me a wee while. When I say a wee while, I mean a long time, to kind of figure out what on earth was going on with me. And lo and behold, I realised I was experiencing seasonal affective disorder, which is a strange thing. And funnily enough, when shortened, it's called SAD, S-A-D. And I thought that was really fitting because it's like, you're sad and it's called SAD. If you have still no idea what on earth I'm chatting about, basically, as I said before, your mood changes. But it's like, it's not just like you feel a little bit sad, it's like you're starting to feel really down on a regular basis every day. You don't really know why. So this is when it's really important to find out why. I, in the past few years, have become really good in understanding what on earth goes on in my brain, and a lot does, which I'm sure is the same for everyone else. It doesn't matter what season it is, it always affects me, especially in the summer, which it actually says it's less common to happen in the summer because the days are longer and it's more sunny, so like the more sunlight you get, the more your mood is usually lifted. But for me, I usually just have like a few huge cries for a couple of weeks when I'm getting used to the summer, and then after that I'm fine. It just takes a wee while to get used to it, and if you know how to deal with it, that is so good. And that's something that I really wanted to talk about in this video, is knowing how to deal with it, because it can be really hard if you just don't know what's going on. Like, not knowing what it was actually harder than knowing what it was. Feeling sad for a couple of days at a time, that's normal, everybody experiences that. So don't be watching this and thinking, oh, I'm sad, maybe I like have this. Like, if you don't like relate to any of the stuff that I'm about to say, then you're fine. Like, I think you're okay. But it's good to know because it can affect anyone at any point in their lives. You can just flick a switch and that can be changed. It just, because you change every year as a person. I look back at the person I was this time last year and I'm like, who was that? I don't know. And I'm pretty sure that everyone's the same. If you are feeling prolonged sadness for a long time, like more than a couple of days, and it's really bad, you're really fatigued, you don't really want to go outside, and like you're not really enjoying stuff that you usually love doing, then yes, you are probably experiencing seasonal affective disorder, especially if it triggers as soon as the season changes. It's really common that that is what is causing it. Although there are obviously so many mental illnesses and you just can't really 100% know. Well, you can, but with these kind of things, you can't really just go and get a test done and then get a diagnosis. Like, it's just like, you either know or you don't know. Something that I live by is that you have to know what's going on in your own brain to know what's going on in your life. Like, I can't believe that I used to not really focus in on my mental health. Like, my mental health is one of the most important things, like, in my life. I said this in my last video when I was talking about anxiety. Like, people always go to the gym and work on their body and stuff, but we never really actually sit down and work on our mental health, which is something that really needs to be done. Like, really needs to be done. So if you've never done that, I mean, even if you're fine, like you feel fine, that's amazing and that's so good that you don't have anything to work on at the moment. Jealous. But more likely than not, most people do struggle with mental health. And mental health is important no matter how big or how small. Like, you just have to, you have to deal with it, you have to work with it, and it's really important to know what's going on in your own head. It's hard as well. It takes a lot of time to be like, but when you really focus in on it, you kind of learn what the triggers are and how to kind of deal with them. Also, another important thing to do is to know that you have people around you who you can speak to. Really important. I actually don't speak to too many people about my mental health. I'm not very open about it because it makes me really uncomfortable. Like, I'm happy to tweet about it when I'm not face to face speaking to someone about it. There is one person that I can really speak to, and that's my friend Alex. He is so helpful, and he, I think, is the only one that I really open up to about my mental health. It's really good to have someone who knows what you're experiencing and can help, and even if they can't help, they can say, I understand how you're feeling. And even just someone saying that to you helps, like, it just helps. So thank you, Alex. Moving on to the tips of kind of what you can do to help your seasonal affective disorder. There's not really, like, I know kind of how to deal with it, but I still get sad when the seasons change. No matter how hard I work on it and try on it, it's going to keep happening, and I know it's going to happen, and I'm not so scared anymore because I know I'm fine. And everybody experiences sadness in their life, obviously. So it's normal to feel upset, and it's like, it's so fine. Also, can I just say, this is the best thing in the whole world. It's just water with lemon juice and elderflower flavour, and oh my god, it actually tastes so good, and I love the water bottle that it comes with. It's so good. Little tips that can help with your seasonal affective disorder. Number one is going to the doctors. If you don't know what you're going through, you've never been through something like this before, go to the doctors, because more likely than not, I mean, Google can be really helpful. Like, Google has helped me with this because I don't like going to the doctor. I know it's really good for some people, but it's not good for me. I can't deal with it, and I really prefer to deal with it on my own, which I know is probably not healthy, but I think at this point I am kind of in control of my mind and my mental health and my mental state at the current moment, so I don't feel like I need to take a trip to the doctor when the seasons change and I feel rubbish. Go to the doctors, have a chat and say, what's this, what am I experiencing, why am I feeling like this, and they will explain, and they'll be able to say it like properly, and they'll be able to give you actual tips that will help you, because like, I know sometimes watching videos you're kind of like, well, that helps you, it might not help me, and that's true, it might not, but you know, I'm not giving you these tips and steps to be like, after you watch this you will be cured. Like, you won't be, because I'm saying all the stuff that helps, and I still get it, like I still experience it every year. But it's good to know what, like, small baby steps and what you can do to help. Number two is go outside as much as you can. Even the shortest walk can help, and I know that that's really hard to like actually do when you feel really rubbish. The last thing you want to do is get up out your bed, go outside. You just want to watch TV, but it does help your mental state just going on like a wee walk. And I know it sounds really like condescending to be like, go on a walk, go outside, but it does help. So 100% go on a walk, get outside, or just like, I don't know, open a window and like take a deep breath, see if that helps, and see if you want to go outside. Baby steps, baby steps. Speaking to someone, which I've already said, having someone that you feel comfortable enough to go to in any given situation, even if it's like, oh, I've never like opened up about this before, do it, because it helps. And it's so good to have someone there who is just like a helping hand. Nobody like can give you the answer. It's working on your mental health is the worst, because nobody can help. It's you that has to help, like yourself, and it's so frustrating and it's awful, and helping yourself seems like the worst thing in the world, but it is the best thing in the world when it comes to it. And I know that in these videos I seem really positive when I talk about mental health, and like I seem really like I'm doing very well and stuff, but sometimes I'm not. Like, sometimes I have awful days and I have terrible days and I get anxious. I have days a lot where I feel rubbish, and it's a struggle, but that's mental health and it's hard work, but you will get there in the end if you really try. And I know that that doesn't sound doable, but pushing yourself to where you don't feel comfortable is where you will probably find that you heal the most. And it's important to know having a bad day is totally fine. Like, it's so normal to have bad days. Everybody has awful days, so don't beat yourself up because you're having a bad day. Like, don't. It's so normal, and it's really like easy to get out of if you go about it the right way. Don't do what I do and like sit and listen to sad music. Like, oh, some people will like watch this and be like, what on earth are you on about? Season changes are really hard for some people. It's hard. Like, it genuinely is. Like, your body clock gets mucked up because it's like, what? And it's all confusing, and it sends this thing up to your brain and goes, why am I feeling like this? Like, can you tell me? And your brain goes, I don't know why I'm feeling like this. I don't know how to explain it. I would 100% recommend having a wee Google if you don't know anything about seasonal affective disorder. Even if it's not you that's experiencing it and it's like a friend that you want to help out, you don't know how to, it's important to Google and know more about this and like talk about it, because it's normal and I don't feel like it's spoken about very much. Like, I didn't know much about it until I experienced it, and I was like Googling, why am I sad when it's getting sunny and like dark? Like, it's important to know, and if you have to have a wee like soul search for why it's happening, then that's fine, because that's half of the things that I do when I find out what's wrong with me. And I've still got like a heck of a long way to go before everything's fine, because mental health is hard. It's a struggle and you have to put up with it, and it's awful, but sometimes it can be a blessing because it makes you a stronger person than you were before, kind of thing. Season changes are hard, so be there for your loved ones when they need it, and be there for yourself when you need it. Don't shut yourself down because you're feeling rubbish. Worst thing you can do. Don't dismiss it, deal with it. If it's prolonged, deal with it. Go to doctors, just say, I don't really know what's up, but I feel rubbish, so can you help me? And they'll be like, yes. And then they'll talk things through with you, and I'm sure it will all make sense again. Like, it's always going to make sense again. You always go through confusing things in your life and you're like, I'm never going to get to the end of this. And then you get to the end of it and then you like have a laugh at the fact that you thought you weren't gonna. Like, I've spoken so much, oh my god. So yeah, thank you very much for watching. I hope you're all okay. Season changes are so hard and I don't think like people realise that. Like, it's really hard on your body clock. So be kind to yourself and be kind to others, because obviously you never know what everyone is going through, because a lot of people don't feel comfortable opening up. Take care of yourselves. It's hard when it gets cold and when it gets warm. It's hard. So have a lovely Halloween. I'm so excited, and I'll see you very soon for another video where I hopefully look a bit more human. Thank you very much for watching and take care of yourselves. Bye!